Well, yeah, it finally has arrived. We got a reveal of the upcoming Aeldari in today's reveal at the, what is it, some grand tournament. It's a grand tournament, grand narrative tournament, grand tournament. Either way, we had Death Corps of Krieg, we had Cruel Boys for Age of Sigmar, and we got some Horus Heresy, and at the end of it with the Aeldari. Now, me being a avid Aeldari player and fan for a long time, I was very excited. Highly recommend giving that video a watch, as it's a really well constructed video and it looks pretty. But yeah, we got to look at brand new fire dragons. Yes, and according to the codex, there are options now. And the fire dragons can take a flamethrower, and the Exarch is going to have more options, I guess. You know, with the axe and melt a pistol, fire pike, probably the dragon's breath flamethrower as well. I would assume that's why the flamethrower got added into the fire dragons. Now the question becomes, does the whole unit get flamethrowers? That would be very interesting. Or can you mix and match? You know, like half be melta-guns and the other half be flamers, or is it going to be 9 or 8 meltas, 1 flamethrower, and the Exarch, right? So I don't know. I like a lot of the design I see. I like the fact that we got helmetless fire dragons now. I think that's really cool. Obviously they intend those for Ynnari, but me personally, just like Space Marines, I like when Space Marines don't wear their helmets. Aeldari, I like when they don't have their helmets. It's just kind of cool. And I like that for the Exarchs, they include that crest in the back. I also really dig the crest on the other fire dragon here you see with the flamethrower, as that looks more like the Wraith helmets, like the Wraith Guard. That looks more like that. And I think that's pretty darn cool. I think it's a nice little touch. I also like the fact that they did not feel it necessary to change the overall aesthetic of these miniatures. Fire dragons look like fire dragons right from day one, which would have been back in like 88, 89, 87, somewhere around that. Jess Goodwin, the original designer for Aeldari. I don't know if they are still working with Jess and Jess is still heavily involved, or are they just, following his notes or what? I have no idea, but the route that they are going with these Aeldari, spoiler, I'm digging it. I'm loving it, and I'm here for this refresh. They did a refresh a number of years ago. I was not particularly fond of how they looked, and so yeah. But I like that. See, melted guns. I'm curious. Are they going to get melted guns and flamethrowers, or and I like the little icon there as well. I like that. That's pretty darn cool. Very cool. I like the unhelmeted options. I like the aesthetic of the armor. And also the fact that these models do look a bit bigger, as well as, Aeldari have gotten a little bit bigger as time has gone on. Next up is the Assuran. Assuran, fantastic. This was rumored to have been leaked a while ago. If this leaked a while ago and this was what we saw, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I like everything about this. I seen somebody had already corrected the image, basically his mouth. They got rid of the mouth. I don't mind the mouth. Assuran having an actual face doesn't really bother me. I think it's kind of interesting. Who knows in the future though? But definitely very exciting, and I'm looking forward to this. This is looking really cool, and I dig it. I like the aesthetic. I like, the hero pose. I like that it is in a very similar pose to the original sculpt, which, is like 30 years old. Early 90s. Second edition is when we got these Phoenix Lords. The Phoenix Lords weren't originally part of the lore. Well, they might have been in the lore, but I don't remember them describing Phoenix Lords. But anyway, second edition is when we got introduced to all these Phoenix Lords, these uber Exarchs, as it were. And I'm fine with it. I mean, they're very cool. The lore surrounding them keeps them nice and fresh and interesting, and also part of the greater lore of the Aeldari. And it is very cool. Sherman, very awesome. They didn't show us any new Dire Avengers, and in fact, the pictures show him next to the current iteration of Dire Avengers. So I would imagine they're not getting an update. which is, it's not disappointing, but, not terribly surprising. I like all the detail. I like that they didn't have to over embellish the model with, doodads and things and, just crazy crap. I'm glad that they kept it fairly straightforward, fairly simple. And, I like when they don't overcomplicate things because it makes it easier for the painting. And when they have large surfaces, like even the sculpted banners, I like it, but everybody's banner is going to look fairly close unless of course you do some heavy converting. But when you have lots of large surfaces, it allows a lot of the painters to paint whatever they want, paint a texture onto those, reimagine things as it were. And so, sculpted banners and overcomplicated armor details, stuff like that. Like you see some third party sculptors and they just overcomplicate the design because obviously, they're trying not to get their arses sued, right? So Baharo, this one for me is a huge win. This is a huge win. This model feels like it is right out of Age of Sigmar. This is like some sort of sci-fi, iteration within Age of Sigmar. It might be the pose, it might be the way the flare of the wings. He's really fantastic. Has to be probably my favorite Phoenix Lord currently. I just really enjoy the sculpt. Baharo, I've used that model many times on the tabletop, taken in games. He's just really good asset and great for countering charges, and especially when you need a hero to show up at a certain point. Baharo is the guy to show up at that certain point, and it is very exciting. I just absolutely love it. I love the sculpt. It is fantastic. It is a complete win in my estimation, in my humble opinion. Humble? I don't know about humble, but anyway. So much movement. I really like this model. I like the also the banners dangling from the guns. Call back to the good old days for these models. Swooping Hawks. Yes, finally we got brand new Swooping Hawks that are plastic, not just fiddly, brittle, delicate fine cast, but actual plastic hits. And with the really finicky bases, like off with the old models that like mine are still pewter and their tippy toes are right on the base, and it's like and they're just standing there on their tippy toes, and it's it doesn't capture it very well. Whereas this stuff, a lot of these models, they really do capture the aesthetic. And of course, yes, unhelmeted heads, beautiful. Love it. I'm so excited. I love these poses for these models. I like that they didn't change too much of the aesthetic. In fact, really, the only things that I see that look like a departure from the original sculpts is that the las blasters they're holding feel a little bit bigger, and they also feel a bit more contemporary as far as the greater aesthetic for the Aeldari are concerned. The gun has these interior curvatures and these lips, and it feels very it feels contemporary. They're Aeldari, like they belong with the army, with the current iteration of the army. But definitely these models, superb. I absolutely love these models, and I definitely will be getting some. And then of course we also get, now they should have did the squad of spiders first in the article, but yes, this was revealed. What is this character's name again? What the heck is this character's name? Why don't I see the character's name? Lycus is the name. It's Phoenix Lord Lycus. I'm sure I'm probably saying that wrong, but either way, this one here, absolutely mind-blowing. What I really enjoy is the pose, the overall execution of this sculpt. This is a brand new hero. We've never had this Phoenix Lord ever. It has been alluded to and hinted at for a long time, but it is finally here. I like the extra eyes on the helmet. I like the sword, how it almost has kind of that incubi blade kind of length to it. It's very interesting that they have these extra arms that look like kind of like the lower arms look like las weapons, and the other ones are the death spinners. Yeah, and of course, the way it looks like it's emerging out of the webway and it's blowing, the material out of the way as, this XR, the Phoenix Lord is coming out to attack. I think personally, that detail, that base, or that effect should have been clear. It should have been cast in a clear plastic so that we can, light it or, paint it and let it really glow. And, but I'm sure plenty of people will be doing some fantastic OSL on it. But definitely this one here is probably the biggest winner. It's excellent. I like the mandibles. I like everything about this sculpt. It is just fantastic. I like the back details. I like the helmets. The hair, I don't know if the model really needed the hair, but it works. It's fine. I think it gives it a little bit more weight. Like, I just noticed the back bum armor. It's got back bum armor. Back armor? Back bum armor? Bum armor? Anyway, model is fantastic. Very, very excited for this one. And yes, of course, I'll definitely be picking up one or two of them. Or not two of Phoenix. These guys here, warp spiders, fantastic. These models finally got an update for plastics, and what I really, really enjoy is the sense of scale, the sense of height that has been improved. The old ones felt very squattish, in their pose, and they only had, two different poses for them. Now it looks like we got a lot more. We have the X-Arc, which gets extra blades, spinners and blades, or, alternate helmet. I like the extra eyeballs on the helmet. I'm wondering now if that is going to play into the game as, maybe gives the X-Arc extra senses or something, I mean, we'll see when the codex finally drops, of course, but yeah. Unhelmeted warp spiders, love it. Love the top knot, just excellent. Oh, look, there's even a little bit of lightning or something coming off them too. Interesting. I'm wondering if that's just part of the aesthetic, part of the, the vibe for them. I really do like the little icons that they've been putting in with the sprues as well. These warp spiders, though, absolutely fantastic. They are a much needed upgrade. Oh, look at the gun. He's got a big, web spinner rifle thing. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder what that is. What is that? That's a big rifle. Yeah, I know. I don't know how I missed that, but yeah, very, very cool. Warp spiders. And yeah, we get a quick little look of all the models. And then, yeah, the Codex will be coming out at some point in the near future. This was all part of the big reveals at the World Championships. And yeah, Warp Spiders, excellent. The Phoenix Lord for the Warp Spiders is just beautiful. I think this model is fantastic, and I am looking forward to getting my hands on it. Swooping Hawks, exciting. Baharo, just absolutely love this model. I love it. I love the pose. And yeah, it is just absolutely fantastic. Assuran, been long awaited his return, and he's back, and he's going to kick some bum. He's going to kick a bum or two, just a bum, just like a cheek, one cheek or two. But anyway, that is just me sharing my thoughts on this latest release for the Aeldari. Yes, I personally will be, looking forward to picking up some of these, and yeah, looking forward. My wall's not going to like it, but I'm going to like it because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Aeldari. Now, the next thing I would like to see for Aeldari, and there's plenty of time between now and when these models get released. When they get released, I have no idea. But I think what would be really, really fantastic if they surprise us with either a brand new Viper or a brand new Falcon tank chassis. I've also been of the opinion that the Falcon, Fire Prism, Wave Serpent, those should be separate kits. I think the bodies should be slightly different because they are different tanks essentially, right? I think a Wave Serpent a Wave Serpent and a Falcon should look more like things that fly in the air, whereas like the Fire Prism should look more like it's close to the ground, skimming. It's like this little tank hunter kind of thing. And the Night Spinner, also similar thing. I don't know. It just, having that same hull design. I realize that Space Marines, with the Rhino hulls and Sicarius hulls and the Land Raider hulls, like they have the main chassis, but Eldar are not Space Marines. And Eldar are kind of like the armorer would create something bespoke for the task at hand. And, that's the kind of thing that I think really should be considered when, looking at armies, right? Like, would they do like an assembly line, or would they just have their smiths preparing the weapons for the crews, right? Every vehicle and weapon is kind of, made for a particular Aeldari, as it were, right? At least that's what I get the sense from the lore and, reading about the stuff and all that. But anyway, that's enough gum flapping for me. I'm really, really excited about this release. And yes, I'll be getting a model or two. Okay, more than two. I'm definitely going to get a box of spiders. Definitely getting some hawks, the fire dragons. You only really need one unit of fire dragons. Any more than that's kind of overkill, unless, of course, they're really, really cheap. But, hey, unless, of course, the whole squad can take flamers. Well, then that might be a reason to take more than one squad of fire dragons. If a whole squad can take flamers, that would be really, really cool. And in fact, that'd be good competition for armies like Space Marines who have units that, just spit out a ton of flames and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited. This is a welcome reveal today. And yeah, I am looking forward to future Aeldari releases. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. And I want to thank you all for liking, sharing, commenting, ringing the bell, all that stuff. And everybody joining me on the memberships, access to all the tutorials, fresh tips, quick tips, stuff like that. So feel free, check it out. And I will see you in the next video. I don't know why I sang that.